Koppel, host of the Time for Coffee podcast, where you get first-hand career advice into the jobs and industries that interest you the most. And before we start today's show, I have a quick favor to ask you. If you haven't already, I'd be incredibly grateful if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes. And if you're like me, you need to do it now because you'll forget later and because it's the best way to help others who may be in search of career advice to find this free resource. So press pause if you haven't done it and do it right now. I'll wait. Thanks so much and enjoy today's show. Hey there, Java Junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Maya Grossman. And I would like to begin our caffeinated chat by flashing back to 2009, when you were 28 years old. You had just graduated from the College of Management and Academic Studies in Israel, which I believe is one of the largest private colleges in Israel. It's just south of Tel Aviv. And you graduated with a BA in Business Studies Management, with a focus on finance and marketing. But you had actually been in the working world long before that. And you'd also served in the Israeli army, which is compulsory for all teenagers in Israel, in case you don't know that. When and what was your first job? And do you remember how you got it, Maya?
Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh. So after I was discharged from the army, I took some time off to travel. And when I came back, I really had to make a decision. At that time, my family could not afford to pay for college, so I had to do it myself, which meant I had to get a job. So I started looking around, asking people, asking some of my friends. And one of the parents of a good friend of mine said, hey, you know what? We probably have something opening up at our company. It was a travel agency. And he said, look, I've known you for the majority of your life. I know you're extremely responsible. Why don't you come in and we'll see what we can do? And that's how I got my first job. And I was actually a customer support representative at a travel agency. I would essentially pick up the phone and listen to people telling me they missed their flight, they lost their luggage, and I would have to solve a lot of very difficult problems for them.
In your book, you talk about some of this experience working at the travel agency. And you shared that you actually weren't too excited about it at the beginning because you didn't know anything about the travel industry. But you became inspired by the founders. And we often hear job seekers say, Maya, you know, I'm passionate about X, Y, or Z. But many students, in fact, most college students, haven't yet identified a professional passion. You have some suggestions for how students and even older adults can cultivate a passion for the company where they land. What are those suggestions?
Yeah, I think very often we have this really romantic idea of everything is going to be perfect. I'm going to love it from day one. It's going to be exciting every single day. I'm afraid that is not what reality looks like. And even when you do have a job that you love, some days are not going to be great. So I think you really need to learn how to find the things that get you excited. So I'll give you an example of what you can do. If you joined a company and maybe the industry is not the thing that you are extremely excited about, look for people who can excite you. Look for me, it was the founders. Maybe for you, it's going to be some of the executives who have been there for a while. have a conversation with them to learn why they care so much, why they find it interesting. You might actually get inspired by their passion. So that's one thing that you can do. Also, you can go and educate yourself because it's very likely that you don't know much about this industry. You just stepped into it. Go and do the work to learn what is interesting, what is exciting. Is there anything going on right now that might actually allow this industry to thrive and grow? Is there anything at all that you can find interesting? And then also become the leader inside of your company. Be the person who talks about that specific aspect. So I think if you can do one of those two, it's going to allow you to have a little bit more interest and passion in your work. And if worse comes to worse and you can't find anything exciting at all, think about your career, right? So think about this job as a stepping stone to the next level. So use that as motivation to do the best work that you can so that you're going to be prepared for the thing that you really want in 6 months or a year from now.
And this is one of the many things that Maya is a maestro at orchestrating. And later in this interview, I'm going to ask her about how you can create a plan, a strategy to skyrocket your own career, even those of you who are still in college. Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of T4C. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching services for confused college students and recent grads, feel free to check out the Time for Coffee website under the coaching tab at time4coffee.org or text me at 202-236-5712. That's 202-236-5712.